And because I've been ready ever since, like that's just literally the way I was born. And when I was born, like when I came out, I came out already fully prepared to take initiative in the exact moment I landed at. And thankfully, the where I landed at didn't require much initiative, and it just required being. That being that being in a particular place of landing, of being actually somewhere. That place is a place where we can not say where we are, or we can actually be where we say we are. And when we be where we say we are, that is when there's potential to alchemize something, to transmute something, to actually literally take what is, because you're saying, hey, this is what is, and this is where I'm at. And from where I'm at and from what is, something can be transmuted. And my name is Neal, and this is the Experience Podcast. And the Experience Podcast is like literally going live every Wednesday at 3:00 p.m. And this is Mountain Time, so if you're a different time zone, like that'll play into it. And majority of you watching this already are aware of Neal and Dennis and possibly Sarah Jean. And some of you, my face is brand new. And if my face is brand new, or if Dennis's face is brand new, or Sarah Jean's face is brand new, touch that subscribe button, touch that like button, and share this content so that it can reach out to more people. And the sharing of this content is the outreach, and it is the expansion of what is in this moment to a larger audience. And with that, I'm gonna introduce Dennis and Sarah Jean. I already introduced you, but I invite you to introduce yourself, and that's what's present.
Go ahead.
My name is Dennis, and I am a transformational coach, bringing people from the matrix. I'm a bridge of people wanting to exit the matrix and come to the new earth. And make sure that you look in the description. And if you have any questions regarding that, and you feel called or have a desire to co-create in the new earth, make sure that you check out my contact information in the description, and I look forward to chatting with you there. Also, we are planting 1,000 fruit trees and co-creating the new earth. There's a link in the description where you can be a part of that, and make sure you hit that button and check that out as well.
And I'm Sarah Jean. I'm a visionary leader here, and I love coaching people into freedom. Freedom is your access to everything, and it is the most delicious word I think I've ever heard in my life, because it releases you of all the things that you think that you're captive of. And so it opens you up to new awarenesses and to the truth of who you are. So we're here talking about transmuting energy. I think that is a powerful conversation, because that's what we do here in Earth Waking at the Experience Podcast. In our lives, it's literally what we do on a daily basis. And I literally watch these guys do this every single day, and their being in their presence literally just does it. They don't even have to speak it. It's with their whole being is expressed in what they do with their energy. So it's powerful, and I can't wait to see what arises with their words. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Through the planting of trees, that is literally an transmutation of the environment. It's taking what is, and it's there's something being produced, expressed from what is, and what is land and nutrition and potential. And through the planting of trees, what's being produced is longevity and multi-generational fruits of literally fruits, and also of food and of building material. And this is something was, and then from what was, something came to be. And that how something comes to be from what is through surrender of what is.
And what is the seed. And what gets birthed is the tree. So we're here today to speak about saving the seed and planting trees, or planting. That's one topic, saving the seeds and planting trees. And you can find that in the description. But we're also here to speak about, I interrupted you, Neal, but we're here specifically talking about saving the seed and creating from what is. And you had brought up creating from what is, so I'm going to let you continue there.
Right now, what is silence. When I speak, there's something coming from the silence. A tree grows from a seed. We are illuminated from the seed of our sexual energy by being in alignment, by raising this life force that's inside of us through our entire chakra system, through our entire energy flow system. And this transmutation process occurs through surrender.
Surrendering of what?
Everything, ultimately, and then in the moment, individual aspects. And what is being surrendered is based on where the energy is located in the body. The majority of collective humanity, they never really even move past maybe, let's say, the sacral chakra, the emotional center. Most of humanity is emotionally constipated and would really like to take an emotional shift. And that's why, because of all this constipation, that's where their perspective of life is coming from, is from this sacral chakra perspective. And it's a incomplete perspective. And so when living from that perspective, what there is to transmute is
Breeding and feeding,
or what there is to surrender is breeding and feeding, and additionally like having this emotional this doing things for things to feel good. That's related to the sacral, and that living from that perspective. And so when living from this perspective, what there is to surrender is different than what there is to surrender when you're living from a heart perspective. When the energy has actually, so like initially when the energy is in the root, there's it's like a fight or flight response, and it's a survival viewpoint and a survival perception. And this survival viewpoint and perception, in that reality for that person, what's required is the surrender of survival, and embracing that, like being provided for. And but the surrender is different based on where you're located at. And so it's essential to be clear where I'm located at, so that I can actually transmute something because if I'm unclear where I'm located at and I transmute something, I'm transmuting from an unclear space. So what I transmute might be beneficial, and it might also be highly detrimental, and it could also be neutral, but I don't know because of being unclear. And from clarity, when transmuting, the outcome can mostly be seen, forecasted, and it's not like you're attached to the outcome per se, but it's through the surrender process, through continual surrender of whatever's coming up in the moment. I can forecast that this will lead to the experience of peace, and this will lead to the experience of love through surrender. And that's speaking from clarity of having surrendered anger, having surrendered needing to survive, and actually embracing like there's actually more than enough food, and actually there's too much food. Would you like some? Because there's like so much. And from clarity, there's discernment of having potential to forecast that when I speak of more than enough food, literally 2 mangoes show up. And so where I'm located at determines what requires being surrendered. And through that surrender, that's the transmutation.
And that allows the energy to move up it's like surrendering to the level of wherever we're at allows that. What I'm hearing is that it allows that energy to move up the chakras until it literally christens us to the Christ consciousness.
100%.
Yeah. It seems like there's also like ways of distinguishing where you're at. Like if you don't know where you're located, how are people going to find you? You know, so it's not a denial of where you're at. It's actually speaking authentically and raw about where you are, and allowing yourself to express yourself without holding back anything. So you got to clearly see where you're located and what's happening. I've also noticed, because you're expressing the root chakra energy, and most of the time from survival mechanisms, we're always like, the world's happening to me, you know. And it's like, so when you're in the to me phase, you can clearly see like, okay, something in my root is not being cleared up. It could have happened somewhere when I was a kid, when I was a child, you know. And that's where we store most of our pain and our energy and our memories of things that have happened, like traumas. So connecting with, okay, consciously, am I thinking that the world is happening to me, or is it happening for me, which is like a solar plexus area, because it's happening from your will. And then from the heart, it's surrendered. It's actually God's will. It's not your will, and you're surrendering in that space. And so it's just recognizing and accessing your own awareness of where you're at. And these change, you're interchangeably going through them all the time. And there's always something that you can be looking at and can transmute at any moment, not only for yourself, but for somebody else that may be coming into your field. So it's also allowing and welcoming and loving everything that's present that comes up. So that's what came up for me.
Literally, being present is the key. It's the key to what? To everything. It's your doorway. It's your access point to love, to God, to your true self. And the governments, particularly in the United States, but also around the world, is intentionally, on purpose and by design, doing its best to keep the collective humanity in a distracted space where the survival energy is what is brought up through this distraction. And the distraction shows up in the form of food with improper nutrition. It shows up in the form of pornography. It shows up in the form of the advertising of, let's say, like
Social media.
cigarettes, let's say nicotine pens. All these things are these feel good things. This is more like a sacral chakra thing, but it's also a distraction. And social media is another one, keeping you distracted of what other people are thinking of you, and seeing how many likes you can get, and seeing how many all this social media thing of being on social media because you need it, not because it's a benefit, but the government is intentionally keeping people distracted, is intentionally keeping people in their lower centers, and it's on purpose and it's by design, because when in these lower centers, we feel small, we feel weak, we feel less than, we feel like everything's happening to us, we can feel like a victim. All these feelings come from being in our lower centers of our body, and not having fully opened up the channel. And this is available and at any moment. And based on our habits, based on our environment, based on music we listen to, based on food we eat, based on conversations we have, determines how energy is flowing in our body. We're constantly eating. We don't just eat with our mouth, we eat with our nose. We're eating, I'm calling ingesting information. So we're always receiving information, mostly unconscious. Only a small degree of what we receive is conscious. And this, what we're receiving through our ears, through our eyes, through our nose, through our skin, we absorb information from the environment around us. And this has an effect on our internal energy. And there's a catalyst, there's a thing that transcends all of that, which is God, which is source, which has a potential. Ultimately, God's the one that decides, hey, now you're in alignment, now you're now's the time. It wasn't time for you to be in alignment previously, even though you thought it was, even though you were fucking pissed off because you're feeling small and weak, and like less than, and you're feeling like everything's happening to you, and you just want to be in control. Well, exactly, that's why you weren't ready for an open system yet. And but now, ultimately, God decides when the time is, and when we're ready to receive it. It's naturally gifted from God through us, and expressed through us. And so there's these things that play a part of it, but then there's a transcendental nature that is the ultimate determining factor. And that ultimate determining factor is the ultimate alchemizer, and that's the creator.
I'm also hearing like key points of ways to get out of victim consciousness and the lower chakras is to start recognizing the power within and taking responsibility for everything that's in your life. Most people are acting from a space of, do I like this or do I not like this? Does this give me pleasure or does this not give me pleasure? And instead of looking at it that way, it's like, I want to be on purpose. Like every decision that I make is on purpose for my life that I want to create. And that when the commitment is, I guess, in a difficult situation or a difficult circumstance, you can always lean on the purpose and your commitment rather than just like, okay, well, now I'm done because the pleasures run out. There's actually something that's guiding you, that's keeping you in momentum, which is the key to success, is momentum, but it's keeping you in the successful momentum towards the goal, towards the creation that you wanted to co-create with your creator. And that's saying, like, right now I'm taking a stand, and no matter what, nothing's going to move me from this. No matter how I feel, no matter what happens with my circumstances, no matter if I lose people on the way, it's because you are deciding to create something with God, with yourself, and be responsible for taking you home. And that is your access. That's your access point to freedom. That's your access point to transmuting all of the energy. And no matter what, like whether you want to believe it or not, you're making an impact on this world, whether a transformational, a positive, or a detrimental one, you are making an impact. And you get to decide and you get to choose. And that is where your source of power comes from, is when you decide and when you choose. And you can decide that. There's nothing out there that's actually stopping you. It's only your choice to continue living in the situations that you're living in. Your circumstances don't have power. It's actually you. So do things on purpose. Do things from a place of your worthiness rather than trying to get it from the outside. And know that you're worthy. Know that you're enough, and you got this. So.
And that worthiness is being present.
Mm-hmm.
And being present to the purpose of why and whose you are. What I just heard Sarah Jean and Neal both share is that, we can be breeders and feeders and go along with the herd. And if you want to do that, just don't take any actions. Like, just continue doing what you're doing. And you can definitely be a breeder and a feeder and live in dysfunction and continue down the path of that train. Or you can be a creator and live on purpose for something way bigger and better than yourself, and for generations to come. And, transmuting energy, transmuting life force into things that are bringing value to the environment and to yourself and to God. So just want to bring that distinction: breeder or feeder or a creator. And
and it's really life force expressed as creative potential, expressed as creation.
Love you too, Lewis.
And this creation is like, it's literally, it's a child. Like what we birth with our words, what we birth with our actions, it's a baby that we take care of, and we nurture it and we feed it, and bird shit on it, and we wipe bird shit off the baby, and we take care of it, and then at some point the baby becomes independent, and it's no longer a baby at that point.
It's a toddler.
Once the baby that was a baby becomes independent, then that's when the creation that is created just kind of starts to operate itself, and at some point there's if both parties choose, there's a potential for interdependence, where two whole and complete independent beings are working together for a common goal, for a common future. And so this energy that's within us is creation energy that births babies, that are projects, that are ideas, that are actual physical babies. Can be a conversation baby.
Well, conversation babies actually get manifested here. You literally have a conversation and it gets birthed like in a day or two. I've literally watched it happen over and over and over again. And I also just want to bring this in as well, because it just powerfully came in, is that there is a direct line of orders of operation. First, you get in alignment with God. That is first and foremost. Then you get in alignment with your independence of what it is that you're bringing in with God. And then it's like you can co-create with somebody else. But if that's not in alignment and you're not whole and complete, it's like, oh, you're like my half that makes me a whole, or, now this thing is going to make me complete, whether it be a job or a person or something else. And that literally drains people. It's not like an overflowing fountain that supports and guides people together. And it's not going to last. It won't sustain. It'll end up crumbling because it was not built from a firm foundation. And like, also with this too, is that when you're co-creating with somebody, you might have all of the things that completely make you compatible, but your guys' purposes don't align together. It's like where the destination is headed. It's not, you could have good chemistry, you could have like, the same hobbies, all the same likes, all the same dislikes or whatever, but that's only going to get you to so far. When the body wears out, the looks wear out, and all that kind of stuff just wears you down. Where's that person going to be? They're going to be with their heart and their commitment, because it was about something with the spirit rather than the flesh. And that is something so much more important that people don't even recognize what they're playing with. They're losing themselves rather than actually creating from a place of wholeness and completeness. That's really the richness of this conversation. I feel that I'm feeling into. It's like, it's about being in alignment with God, yourself, and then creating something on purpose with other people. So,
and it's only through alignment with God that you can alchemize energy. Because when you think you're just a body and you're taking actions from just a body, you're alchemizing from an unclear space. And this is what body modification looks like. This is what boob implants are. This is what getting a large butt. This is what having your face redone and your nose changed. This is from a mindset of alchemization, of changing something from being the body. And it like maybe works short term, but long term it's not efficient or effective. And what is efficient and effective is actually transmuting energy in alignment with God's original intent, which literally changes our DNA makeup and literally changes the cells of our body to where we are moving from being this dense physical being to more of a light body being, to more of a crystalline nature. And this is a natural organic process that is only possible with God, because it is his original intent. But if we try to rush the process, or we try to do these things without being surrendered, then you get what you're seeing in the Western world with all body modifications.
Not just that, like there wouldn't even be an option for divorce. Do you know how much, like, if people were actually in alignment and coming from that space of wholeness and completeness and being on purpose and on the divine design, there wouldn't even be a divorce, like, at all, because it wasn't created from something that you wanted to do for yourself and trying to get something, and for these selfish reasons, and for and it's also from agreements and contracts. And it's like, if you don't do this, then you're going to get in big trouble. You better watch out, because look at how much punishment is happening inside of the relationships. It's like, if you don't give me what I want, now you're going to hurt, and you're going to feel it. And that is, I pray that gets healed in the world. I pray for that. And I pray that people start recognizing how worthy and how enough and how beautiful you are. And you are perfect, just the way that God created you to be. And just recognize that and find out, like, what all this right here truly needs, and not need it from the outside. Like, because you give yourself everything that it needs, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And then you're like this fountain that just pours out and gives to other people. I highly recommend this, and I'm speaking from experience because I used to be this person. So just, yeah, be the thing that you wish to see in the world, and love like that's all that you really need is love. Love like there's no tomorrow, there's only the present moment. So.
And love is a noun.
Yeah,
It's
love
not a
is
verb.
a noun.
It's not a verb. It's not something to do. It's not something to get from the outside. Like, you literally are love. And that's the underlying principle of everything that we've been speaking about, is knowing who and whose you are. And from there, God will give you clarity on what his plans are for your life. And if you're manifesting things that you don't like, it's because of you're operating from this lower chakra of not knowing who and whose you are. If you have a clear vision and you're moving in that direction and you're transmutating that life force energy into that direction, you'll start noticing as you move into the illusion of time and become present to the present of the present, you'll notice that miracles are in front of you all the time. And that have been in front of you all the time. And all that there was just mud on the lens. And as soon as you move that and you actually step forward into purpose with faith.
And the mud on the lens is the chakra you're operating from. It's the lens of the root chakra. And then going through life, just seeing from the lens of the survival.
Being breeders and feeders.
Or it's the lens of the heart chakra, where you're going through life and feeling and seeing and expressing love. And then when we remove the lens of the root chakra of survival, we see, hey, like I actually don't need to survive. I'm actually thriving. I got a roof over my head. Like, there's community around. There's plenty of food, and even without any of those things, I'm thriving specifically because I'm spiritually well.
I feel complete. Does anyone else have anything they would like to offer?
Yes, I'm a coach, and I assist people in their 20s, like, exit the matrix. And how you do that is through the transmutation of these perceptions. And I assist you in exiting the matrix and being with your soul family. So that's something you're interested in. My contacts in the description. One of them is email. One of them is Snapchat. How you'll reach out is the same on both platforms. Message Neal directly and message me Natural Balance, and we'll have a conversation.
Is that it?
I'm complete.
Did we do it?
I think we did it.
We did it.
We did it. You did it. Go team.
I love y'all.
Ciao.